Welcome to Quran Stories Animated. In every episode, we share the timeless lessons of the Holy Quran, the stories of prophets, their trials and patience, their faith and obedience to Allah. These stories guide us, inspire us, and remind us of Allah's wisdom and mercy. Join us as we bring the words of the Quran to life. The sun rose gently over the land of Egypt. The people of Musa gathered their few belongings. They looked toward the horizon with hope. Musa stood among them, holding his wooden staff. His face was calm and full of faith. He said, "Allah has commanded us to depart." The people began to move as dawn broke. Children held their parents' hands tightly. The desert wind carried whispers of freedom. Their footsteps marked the beginning of a new life. They walked together through the golden sands. The light of dawn guided their way. Old and young moved side by side. Musa looked toward the distant hills. He said softly, "Allah is with us." The people followed with trust in their hearts. Women carried water skins and bread. Men helped the weak and tired. The night air was cool and quiet. Stars above shone as a sign of guidance. When they reached the edge of the sea, they stopped. The water stretched wide and endless before them. The people looked behind and saw dust rising. Pharaoh's army was coming fast. Fear spread among the people. They cried, "We are overtaken." Musa said firmly, "No. My Lord is with me." The waves moved gently under the moonlight. The army drew nearer, their torches bright. The moment of trial had come. Musa raised his staff high by Allah's command. The wind blew strong across the sea. Waves rose and parted by Allah's will. A path of dry land appeared between the waters. The people stood in awe and amazement. Musa said, "Walk, for Allah has opened the way." The believers stepped forward with trembling hearts. Children looked at the towering walls of water. Mothers whispered, "Trust in Allah." They began to cross the sea. The moonlight reflected on the moving waves. Musa led the people with steady steps. The sound of water echoed around them. The air was cool and filled with faith. The path was narrow but clear. The people walked between two mighty walls of water. The miracle of Allah surrounded them. The night sky shone above their journey. Hearts beat with fear and hope together. Every step was a prayer. Pharaoh's army reached the sea. They saw the open path and entered it. Their horses neighed, chariots rumbled on the wet sand. The sound of iron filled the night. Musa looked back as the last believer stepped out. He saw the torches of Pharaoh's men approaching. The sea walls began to shake. The people cried, "The enemy is coming." Musa raised his staff again. He whispered, "O Allah, complete your promise." The waters crashed down with mighty force. The sea returned to its natural state. The waves rose high and swallowed the army. The sound of thunder filled the air. Torches went out beneath the waves. Horses and chariots disappeared in seconds. Pharaoh shouted as the waters closed around him. He said, "I believe that there is no God but Allah." But it was too late. The sea became calm again. Morning light broke over the sea. The believers stood on the shore, silent and amazed. They watched the calm water glitter under the sun. They remembered how Allah saved them. The smell of salt and sand filled the air. Musa lowered his head in gratitude. He said, "All praise belongs to Allah, the Most High." The people raised their hands in dua. Tears of joy flowed down their faces. Peace settled over the land. Pharaoh's lifeless body washed ashore. The people saw the truth of Allah's word. Allah said, "Today we will save your body to be a sign." The waves moved gently around the fallen tyrant. His crown lay beside him in the sand. The believers looked with awe and fear. They said, "Indeed, Allah is powerful over all things." Musa turned away, his heart filled with reflection. He said, "This is a lesson for all generations." The sea shimmered in silent remembrance. The people continued their journey toward freedom. They carried the memory of Allah's mercy in their hearts. Musa walked before them, calm and strong. Children played as they moved through the desert. The wind blew softly against their robes. Faith filled the air with peace. They knew Allah would guide them always. The story of deliverance was complete. The believers sang praises in quiet voices. Thus ended the story of Pharaoh's arrogance. Thank you for watching Quran Stories. The stories of the Holy Quran are lessons for all time about faith, patience, and guidance. We hope this story inspired you and reminded you of Allah's wisdom. Subscribe and continue with us as we share more timeless lessons from the Holy Quran.